welcome to Mrs. U Makes. This is part 2 of the beaded dome ring tutorial. Apologies for this tutorial being done so far after part 1, but hopefully now those of you who have watched part 1 will be able to fully complete your ring. And if there are any of you who haven't watched part 1 yet or who would like a recap, I've placed a link in the description box below. Okay, so where we left off in part 1 was at this point where we've made the dome shape itself, and now we need to make the band for the ring. For that, you will need size 11 seed beads in a color of your choosing. Apologies for the lighting. You also need beading needles. I have 2 here. It is possible to do this with 1 needle, but it's a lot easier to do with 2. It saves having to switch the needles around. You could also do it with no needles, but again, it makes it easier having 2 needles to add the beads on. Okay, and the thread is already attached to the bead here. All right, so let's continue. Right, firstly, we will add 4 beads onto one of the needles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then thread these all the way to the bottom, and then we'll take the other needle and add 5 beads onto this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, just double check. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So thread these to the bottom as well. Now the 5th, taking the 5th bead that was threaded on, and the needle on the opposite thread, okay, sorry about this. Okay, right, so if you take the 5th bead and the needle on the opposite thread and placed this bead in the opposite direction to where the first one is coming out of. So that way you have one needle coming out from one side and the other from the other side, like this. And then pull it all the way down to the bottom. Just try and get that in focus so it's easier for you to see. There, like this. Okay, now we will thread one bead on one needle and 2 beads on the other one. Okay, and as before, we'll take the second bead that was threaded and using the other needle, thread it through in the opposite direction. So you're left with this. Okay, and repeat that again. It doesn't matter which needle you thread each of them on. So do one bead, the first one, and two beads with the second one. Okay. And again, taking the second bead and the other needle, thread it through in the opposite direction. Okay, like this. So as you can see, it's sort of making mini crosses or petal shapes. Repeat this process until the band is able to fit around your finger. So I've added more seed beads and the band can now fit around my finger. So it reaches the other bead on the other side. And once you've worked it to your desired length, you then have to, as before, thread 4 beads on one needle, one, two, three, oops, 4, and thread 4 on the other. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, this time we're now going to thread these through this bead here. Thread them each through the bead, the side of the bead that's on the same side as the needle. So this needle is going to go through this way and out to the other end, and this one is going to go through the other way. So you now have the shape of the band. And before moving further, just put it on your finger just to check the sizing is right in case you need to take some beads out or add some extra ones. It should be a little loose because the next stage will tighten things up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to work back down the band, just to give it some extra strength. Now we're going to thread the needle through these beads along here. So hopefully this will go into focus. So put it through the first one, making sure it goes through all 4 beads, and then pull it all the way through. And the same with the needle on the other side. Going to feed it through these 4 beads here, making sure they go through all 4. Okay. If the thread comes out like it's done here, that's fine. Just pull on them to tighten things up. Okay, next I'm going to feed both needles. Just wait for it to get in focus. Okay, we're going to feed both needles through this bead here. In the middle. This would have been the last bead that was threaded on in the first section before these 4 were added. So just feed this through the side here. And through the other side as well. Wait for that to get into focus. Apologies for this. Okay, and then just pull it to tighten. Okay, now what we're going to do is feed the thread through the first bead here. Again, I'll wait for it to get into focus. Okay, so feed it through this bead here. And this time you can just focus on one side, which I think is what we'll do. So feed that through the first bead there, and then grab another bead onto the needle, and then working on the same side, that's the bead we've just picked up, working on the same side. Okay, just wait to get in focus. Okay, so working on the same side. Apologies for this again. We'll just thread it through that bead below. So as you can see, that gap that was there, like this one, is now being closed up. So we then take another bead, And as before, it will be thread through the bead that is below, which will be this one here. So we're just working down this side. Just wait for the focus. We're just working down this side of the band, the right hand side as it appears on the camera of the bead, just filling in all of these gaps here. So add another bead. And go through the next bead now. Okay, another bead. And thread it through the next one. Okay, now we'll add the last bead for this particular side. And okay, and we now add the last bead for this particular side of the band. And when that's done, work the needle through this central bead here, the one that both of the needles will work through at the beginning. This one here. And also through the first 4 beads along the side. So you're going to work it through these 5 beads there. Once you've done that, you're going to do the same thing along this edge now. Okay, so I've worked the thread through this side, adding a bead as I go. So I'm now going to work the bead through this center one here as before, and at the same time work it up the 4 beads running along the side here. So again, 5 in total. Once you've done that, take either of the needles and thread them through the larger bead. And then tie a knot. Before you do this, you can also just double check the fit of the ring. Just tie it securely. You can add some glue to this, some epoxy glue. There's iodide is one that I sometimes use, and that will just give extra strength to the knot. And then begin to feed the needle throughout all of these beads in different directions. Just to keep the end secure, and do the same with the one on the other side. Feed it through a few of the beads just to secure the ends. There we go. And once you've done that, just simply cut these ends off. And there you have it, your very own dome ring. I know that the lighting for this wasn't great. Please feel free to leave a comment if you would like me to record another video in better lighting. I'll be very happy to do that if that enables you to see things a little better. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing pictures of your own dome rings. Feel free to share them with the hashtag #MyMrsU Makes. Take care. Bye.